Hey guys, how's it going? I got a little bit more time to play with that the King Quad and do some more work on it. So I'll do a little video on it and kind of show you what's going on and yada yada yada. So here we go. Still a little under the weather, but bear with me. My singing voice isn't quite up to par yet. I might as well go like in the process of how I put stuff together and kind of show you how, what, and where. The first thing was putting the foot pegs assembly back in again that everything kind of pivots off of. So I found me kind of threw up a mock seat up there and sat up there and figured where I kind of wanted the most comfortable. And then after I did that, pop the light on. The original mounts I just cut off. See if you can get the lights on your way. Anyway, there and there. Same thing on the other side. You can kind of see them. I just retacked them back onto the frame. They were back here and here. After I got that kind of squared away where I want it, I popped the drive shaft back in to make sure we didn't have any clearance problems. And we don't. We're fine on that. This is the original cover that used to go over it. And there's the mounts that I used to that it does bolt to. So they're bolted back on, and I'll probably end up putting that back on there. I don't know, it doesn't really do very much. And if I want, maybe I'll extend it a little on each end of it just to kind of cover some stuff. I don't think your foot's really going to get in there. But in any event, from there, I moved on to doing the, started with the shifting of the foot. And that's this conglomeration that you see here. Back, down around the exhaust, welded to a bunch of pipe. And the original shifter rod came down. This light should kick on. Come on. There you go. This is the original rod, and it in turn went to the foot shifter, which this lever sat right about here. So it pretty much just clicked it up and down in a straight line. This is a cable, but the cables that are on here have a piece of steel on the inside of them. So it's not like you could take that end and just like kind of bend it any way you want it. You got to kind of keep it true to the direction it is. So this conglomeration of a linkage that you see right here actually came off of this dead snowblower. I robbed it for some shift rods and things like that to piece together. So we go from that shift rod I just showed you where it came from off the snowblower. It has an adjustment in it, which is nice. So I can adjust this anywhere I want. Plus the cable has some adjustment up top there too. Just popped off. Everything is just mocked up and tacked together. This rod is quite long. It goes roughly up to about here, but it wasn't long enough. This is a piece of curtain rod that I got off of something, and it went in my scrap pile, so it kind of fit in there, so I used that. And this is an end off of the snowblower also. I just kind of rammed right inside the pipe, and that in turn went to the original piece that was connected to the cable that I just showed you. So that's what we got, and we have our, so we kind of get it all in there. That's our shift setup for the gears. I don't want to yank on it too much because the as I said, it's just tacked. One thing I did have to do in the center here, where the footrest was and where this rod was way forward, right about here. The problem with that is you got to kind of try to keep everything on a 90-degree for the most power, and just for the sense of alignment. Things just work better for the most part. So I actually had to split it right down the center. Took the assembly out. There's a bushing that's in there. Ran the bushing out. Cut it in half. Came back over, reassembled everything, and just kind of figured out where I wanted it, and then tacked it back together. So that got that whole assembly working pretty good. And then I moved on. This is a pair of vice grips sitting there. I went on to the rear brake and kind of just went with the same idea. This is the original cable coming down. It used to go to the pedal cluster, which sat right inside that pipe right there. And that was your brake pedal. Your feet sat right here originally. Again, just welded a piece of pipe to the frame. This is the tab that used to be right here that the brake used to pull on. So in turn we welded it there because to support the cable. This cable is adjustable, as you can see. I can adjust there. We go to another piece of rod off the snowblower and a tab welded on that for that to hold on to with the pin. To the snowblower rod, again we got an adjustment here so we can adjust it in the future. And then we just took a piece of pipe that kind of fit that sucker again, stacked it on another piece of pipe and tacked her to the frame. And as you can see, that's my rear brakes. It's going to stay down because there's no return spring on the back drum, but you can kind of see that's what the assembly does. I have to do rear brakes on it too. I pulled the drum off there. You see, I'll go back up. So that's my rear brakes. It used to have a cable that came from the handlebar down, so you could work the rear brakes from the handlebars, but I'm not going to bother with that. I don't need it. So we got that guy squared away, and then we moved to. I started playing with the shifters up top. There's a whole bunch of different shifters that this thing had on it. And here's the conglomeration that that thing had. 3 of the shifters sat right between your crotch on a console, something like that, and you would move for one lever was for reverse, one lever was for high, low, and super low range, and the other lever was for the differential lock. So my thought was I was going to start slicing this thing up and using these levers and this whole configuration and bearings, and you know, it's got aluminum block in the middle of it, and et cetera, et cetera. Then the old adage, keep it simple, stupid, popped in my head, and I said, why do I even need all that stuff at all? Why can't I just grab the ends of them? Again, these cables that are on here, see how they move, but they just move a little? That's because there's steel on the inside of them. It's not like they're going to go flop over. So like you can see for this one, I added a little bit more of that original trailer hitch on there because of what was laying around. Notched it so I can get the cable in it. And for reverse, just push it in, pull it out. That's it. Simple. It only moves when it's in neutral. If you have it in gear, you can't move that, so it's not like you're going to bump the thing and shove yourself in reverse when you're doing 30. The range lever is going under the seat, and you can reach down between your legs and grab that, and you got high, medium, and low. And they got their own detents on them too, so it's not like you're going to be in between 2 gears. You'll know what you're in. The only thing I want to do is kind of make some knobs up for the end of these, some kind of round knob or like a T-handle maybe you can kind of grab for them. So that's those guys. And what else did they do? They do anything else? And then the front one, I'll probably just come some kind of support bracket. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing up here, but this is the one for the differential lock. Again, it's the same thing, just to pull, push, pull. Yeah, it's locked in and it's unlocked. What's nice about this, that old cluster had an interlock. You were only able to lock the front diff, in super low range. This way I can put it in high range and still lock the front diff if I want to. My thinking is to take this cluster, I'm probably going to mount it right down, right in about this area. The reason why I want to do that, first get the crap off the handlebars, and second, I can shorten up all my harnesses. I think I might be able to get my speedometer cable to reach in that location. So it'll save me some cutting and splicing of stuff. Then I stuffed the exhaust pipe on it because I want to make a stack kind of come up the side. And no, that wasn't well planned engineering. I just got lucky. It kind of clears everything, all my linkage. Yeah, you can swing it wherever you want, really. But you know, that pretty much clears what we got going on here. And my thinking is, I'm gonna go to Home Depot tomorrow and get 2 45-degree elbows. They both have a slight bend, and that way I can kind of rotate this thing right kind of where I want it. I think I'm gonna come up. Come back here more. Try to come right about this area with a stack and a flapper on it. Probably get it about, I don't know, about a foot above the bucket. Something like that. So that's what we're going to do with that guy. I may or may not put a muffler on it. I don't know. It'll sound better with it off, but be more intrusive with it off too. That's still in the air. And then on the other side, we're kind of going to go the same idea. Here's the carb right here. I am going to get a heater hose, exhaust radiator hose, and with a preformed bend in it, and see if I can get that bend to kind of come out and get me out to this location. And even just hoses with a bunch of bends in them, and what I'll do is I'll make it between the rubber hose and that white PVC pipe. I'll slice them, and wherever I want a junction, I could put that in the junction and make it turn where I want, and have it kind of come right up, probably about the same distance, and we'll go over with a loop this way, so it's more of like a snorkel. You know, it'll get me, if you're looking at the machine and the height of the handlebars, it'll allow me to go you know, a foot above that bucket, and that's pretty high. So that's a little bit more what what's going on. Probably spent about 4 hours this afternoon, being Saturday, on it, just trying to come up with this stuff. Again, everything will get beefed up and gusseted it up and welded permanently once I get the homes for everything. I am going to make my own seat. We're not using that. We're going to use, after I get everything in its location, whatever space is left over is the seat I will make for that space. So it kind of looks good. I got to get a set of handlebars from a friend of mine, because these are pretty trashed. Yeah, I could fix them, but they're bent on an angle and everything else. And I'm thinking the lever for the dump bucket, the power part of it, I might even mount it right on the knob or on the side of the knob or something like that, so that when you grab the knob and you unlatch it, now you could power the switch up and down for this guy. You know, so that's my thinking right now. If not, I'll mount a switch somewhere right in this location. I'll show you that pump that's going to go in there. I brought it in from the garage, from my truck. It's this guy. Look up. It has 2 ports on one side, one on the other, and you power the leads up, and then you just swap the power on the leads. It goes from one to the other. Actually, no, this style's not like that. I think you ground one side and you put power to one side and then power to the other side, and it makes the pump run forward and reverse, and it has hydraulic pressure both directions. It's got its own reservoir. You fill it in through that little pie hole right there. And we just got to get that guy mounted up in here somewhere. Who knows? Wherever, you know. The lines are pretty long, so I could probably stick it up front if I want. And I got to make a place for the battery. But again, you know, it seems slow while you're working on it. But for you guys, it's like, yeah, what do you mean? In 5 minutes of video was all done. But at the end of the day, you kind of look at everything that gets done. It clicks along pretty good. Stuff that takes a lot of the time is just trying to figure out the logistics of where everything goes and how it clears everything else and how you're going to attach it. Once you get like it all kind of assembled and everything clears and fits and, you know, is fudged to where you need to go fudge it, then you just tear it apart and weld it and kind of put it all together, and yeah, then it starts moving pretty fast. But we're getting there. Alright guys, I'm going to stop yapping, and thanks for watching my videos, and commenting, and thumbs and all that kind of stuff, and take care. Thanks for watching.